Oh, hello and welcome to What Are We Talking About with Jamie Jakes. I am him, and today I am here to get to the bottom of what happened between the Commanders of Washington, D.C. and still offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. We're going to dig down deep into it to read the tea leaves of what actually happened. And Adam Schefter on the Pat McAfee Show kind of dropped some breaking news for probably the first time in his short-lived run with the Pat McAfee Show so far, by dropping a little bit of inside insight, kind of speaking on the behalf of the Washington Commanders. So let's get into it. The Washington Commanders were really high on Ben Johnson. He was a favorite to get the head coaching position for the team. Of course, Ben Johnson, a all-star offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, currently was in line to get this head coaching position until out of nowhere, there was a report that was leaked that said Ben Johnson is no longer interested in the Washington Commanders. But after that, a whole lot of other stuff got released. And this tweet right here does a pretty good job of summarizing exactly what the rumors going around town are. This is a great Twitter follow, by the way, probably the best news aggregator on Twitter going right now. So I highly recommend that you give a follow and ring the bell for this X account. Rumors. Ben Johnson was turned off by the Commanders ownership, thinking they were basketball guys, and that they were a little too confident in their football opinions. And a lot of she said, he said, hearsay going around that Ben didn't interview well. So the timing of these events, I think, is the most important thing. It was originally leaked or reported that Ben Johnson wasn't interested in the Commanders. And after that, there were more reports that were leaked that said that the Commanders were actually not that into Ben Johnson in the first place, saying that he interviewed poorly and they probably weren't going to go with him in the first place. Now, what Schefter reported on the Pat McAfee Show today brought a lot of light to the organization, because number one, you could tell that Schefter was reporting on behalf of the Washington Commanders, meaning his source for this situation was very likely purely coming from the Washington Commanders side of things. And what he broke essentially was when that news was leaked, the Commanders were in the air on a PJ to Detroit to go interview Ben Johnson for his, I guess, second interview for the head coaching position. And Ben decided at that moment, I'm not even going to give you the time of day to interview me in Detroit, because I am so focused on the Lions at this point, and I am so not interested in this Commanders job this season or next season, that while you're in a plane coming in to interview me, I'm going to tell the press that I am not interested. And oh yeah, maybe I'll have my manager text you at the same time while you guys are up in the air coming to talk to me, to interview me for this position. So he burned this bridge with the Washington Commanders organization. He's not going to get an interview next season, no matter how well he does, no matter how poorly Dan Quinn does for the Washington Commanders, who is now their sitting head coach. I think what we saw here was a classic situation where there's a guy, he's insecure, but he's going out there and he's hitting on a girl at the bar. And the girl who he's hitting on is not interested. So instead of saying, that's okay, no worries, and moving on to Dan Quinn, that insecure guy goes out and says, hey, you actually interviewed pretty bad. You're actually really not even that pretty. I know I was interested in you. Actually, that's not the case. You're a bad candidate. And even though you turned me down, you're kind of ugly, is basically what the Washington Commanders organization did to Ben Johnson after he turned down the position. And when you're a Washington Commanders fan in this situation, you got to be so frustrated just with the infrastructure of the damn stadium, FedEx Field. in the first place, not having hot water consistently, not having good sewage plumbing, some potential poop water raining down on fans a couple seasons ago, and legitimate candidates for head coaching positions are, this is what Adam Schefter said, more comfortable being an offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions instead of taking on a head coaching position for an organization that he perceives to not be ultra stable. The Lions organization, on the other hand, you got to feel great about, because you have an all-star offensive coordinator who, in my opinion, is very comfortable, if in the right situation, becoming a head coach for the NFL, because that's where all coaches want to be at the end of the day, is a head coach of an NFL team. I'm going to take a year off, stick with what I know, a stable situation where he feels appreciated, where he feels supported from the higher ups, and also feels appreciated and supported from his teammates and the other coaches on the coaching staff. So it's a big feather in the cap for the Detroit Lions organization, and something to be really, really concerned about if you are a Commanders fan, about how the league really perceives your team as a legitimate organization or an illegitimate organization in the NFL. So please tell me what you think. Am I missing anything here? Was the interview so bad because Ben wasn't interested in the first place? Or do you think Ben is not confident enough to take on a head coaching position in a good state of an organization like you think the Commanders are? Please leave a like. Please subscribe to the channel if you like the video. Thank you, and good night.